Alright, hang on. Whatever happened to me, it hurt other people. Kaite and Ariane. I don't remember them. I don't remember them. But they were something. They were connected to me somehow, and they're paying the price for it. Whatever I did, they're the way they are because of me. And I don't want that happening to you. So forget about me.
Yes, it would be a shame if I were to go crazy or something. I might hurt someone.
This is not the time for jokes.
Who's joking?
I apologize.
This whole time since I've been awake, I've wondered, why didn't I just die? Whatever my old life was it worth being alive for? She's kind of gonna look over the edge. I don't think it was.
And do you believe killing yourself would change that?
I don't know. But it seems like an awful lot of people have gone through an awful lot of trouble for me. And I don't know why. So why not just end it here?
Oh.
There is no such thing as a Tenno without sin. I was, in part, responsible for the toppling of an empire. I killed a great many people, betrayed them because I believed they had betrayed me. And in doing so, I helped bring chaos to the galaxy, or to the system, with results that you can see in the worlds around us now. Yanto, as was stated, wrongfully killed a great many people he believed were guilty of a friend's death.
Empty, out of the three of us, you're the only one lucky enough to be able to make it up to the people who've suffered. You can't throw that opportunity away. You can't fix this. I won't lie to you and say that you can, but you can try to make things right as best you can. And I think you already believe that. I think I don't know.
You're entitled to do as you wish. However, if I may, I would request your assistance.
Doing what?
I wish to save Ariane and Kaite.
Rana's going to take a few steps forward.
Their situation may not have been as I previously believed. But even so,
Yeah, Excalibur will take a step forward too, away from the edge.
Shit sucks.
Yeah. I wish I knew. I wish I knew what I was. And then I'd be able to see what I could do.
I think maybe the person who you were wouldn't have worried about that. That's why they chose to be someone new. Because the person that I've met, I want to see what they can do. Because I believe in them.
Thank you.
Seriously, you come over here and hug me, I'm going to fucking hug you. And I'm scared I'm going to knock you off the fucking cliff, but...
Yeah. The hug will happen.
Ah!
We're pulling Trinity on this too.
His arm flails over in the direction of Trinity. Get over here!
Very well.
Crush.
The best hugs come from Rhino.
The best tugs come from Hydra. I don't know what you're talking about.
The most invasive hugs come from Hydroid.
You say invasive, I say intimate.
It's two sides of the same tentacly coin. Anyway. Right, well, yeah, Ronald looks around a bit. Suppose we better get back to the lander. We did kind of piss that dude off. Well, I kind of pissed that dude off. Quite a bit.
Maybe easier to call the lander to us. It should be able to reach this empty cliffside.
When you look up, you see that you see it already inbound.
It appears Colin is ahead of us in that regard.
He's on the comm. So I saw y'all stopped. Figured you might want a pickup or something.
Yes. Even without the general, Lua is not a safe place.
No, decidedly not.
So should we jump up there, or do you want to come down here?
So that's me figure out how.
All right, let me walk you through it.
After walking them through it, he's able to pilot it down a little bit so that you can get in, but not without him, of course, bumping it into the cliffside a few times.
Just watch the paintwork. Oh God, fucking. Ugh. I'm gonna take this whole thing into dock, aren't I?
Eventually, he's able to get it, and you're able to board.
All right. All aboard the Joy train.
Yeah, and you guys leave Lua behind you and return to the void to reconnect with your lander. Well, your lander, your orbiter.
Well, I don't know about the rest of you. That got a bit fucking tense.
I suggest we take a rest, and when we are feeling up to it, we have a meeting. We should discuss what we have learned and what to do from here.
Yeah, sounds like a plan.
I am sorry, Yanto.
What for?
When something does break through and I feel strongly, it is often difficult to rein in.
You're preaching to the choir. I know how that feels.
I suppose. I am just less used to dealing with it, I guess.
You don't have to apologize. I've said this before.
Should I not apologize when I cause problems?
I mean, like, apologize to Colin or MT or...
Yes, I think I am. I think my heart, at the very least, is due an apology.
I apologize for worrying
for-
you, Colin.
For the amount of heart attacks that I had.
That's just your diet, man.
Oh, do we need to rush to a relay? I do not believe we have the appropriate medical equipment to treat a heart attack.
That was a figure of speech.
I don't know. I got a plunger.
Oh no.
Just like carve a hole and go...
I don't think hearts work that way.
I don't know. I'm not a doctor.
Neither am I.
It is a shame we have not picked up an ally that follows the way of Vazarin.
Yeah, those guys all hang around by themselves. It's a bit weird. Right. Well, if anyone needs me, I'm going to be watching the latest Friday the 13th movie in my bunk.
Wait.
Part 2374.
There we go.
Ah, yeah.
As with most things, when he starts talking about ancient Earth culture, Kirei just sort of stares blankly. Pretends like she understands what any of that is.
So are you guys basically just going to have a fucking chill?
Yeah, I think it's been a bit high tensity. Tensity?
High intensity. That works.
I can English.
Yeah, no, it's safe to have a fucking chill.
I want to take a nap, but I also don't want to sleep because when I sleep, I remember.
Well, just come and watch Jason Voorhees decapitate some stupid teenagers.
Stupid Grenier teenagers.
Stupid. They're fully grown Grenier, but they're just affecting teenage mannerisms.
They're
How is that any different from the original Friday the 13th movie?
Their voices are deeper.
No, it's that the Grenier have cloned teenagers, but literally their only purpose is to play teenagers in movies.
I really like the idea that they're just like real old Grenier that are retired from military service that are like wearing like hair pieces.
Like one of them's wearing a varsity jacket and wearing a kind of quiffed wig.
I feel like if there's still horror movies being made, it's the corpus making them, but the thing the horror movies are about now is how Jason Voorhees represents the truest pursuit of capitalism. And no, because he's punishing what is perceived as a vice. So clearly he's punishing people who have deviated from the money worshipping system.
Oh shit! So like in
the new ones, Jason's like a paid killer, and he is hunting down people who no longer pursue the almighty dollar.
Like,
Or
in my mind,
credit,
in
as
my
it were.
mind,
Profits.
Grenier do all the low budget grindhouse stuff, whereas the Corpus do really slick stuff, but there's like tons of product placement in it. It's like
You know,
Michael
like,
Bay.
Oh
like-
yeah, there's a billboard with Nefanya's face on it in every single background.
Someone gets killed with that billboard at one point.
You know, like one of the main characters is like instead of spending money on myself, I thought maybe I should try spending money on another person, and not to expect them to do something for me in return. I don't know. It's crazy, but maybe it'll work. And then he's killed.
Yeah, then Jason just goes behind him and snaps his neck.
Viciously.
Or
We
one,
can go down to
or
the camp
you know,
and do charity.
you have two Corpus teenagers, and one goes to the other's like, I believe I feel something about you that cannot be quantified in an amount of credits.
Lewd.
Yeah, there's just all watching
And
this.
it's just
and goes,
shocking.
"These new films are fucking dumb," and switches off. I'm gonna go and watch Casablanca Part 2.
It's mostly the same.
It's the same film in reverse.
Well, you're fighting shitty. Well, you and MT are fighting shitty movies to watch, assuming MT went with.
Yeah, probably. She's probably looking for something very mindless. She probably actually doesn't say much or too much.
Hey, you want mindless escapism? Movies.
Yeah, I mean, in the meantime, Kirai's gonna go up to Colin.
Colin is doing what he usually does to de-stress.
Yeah.
Which is hitting a punching bag.
Yeah, perfect. This is about what I expected.
He's doing it with a chair.
Mm.
I think Nate laughed so hard he broke his microphone.
Yeah, I heard that from up here.
Oh, I'm sorry. So yeah, no, he's just hitting a heavy bag right now.
Forgive me for interrupting, but if you are already in the mood for violence, I have a request of you.
He stops and is like, I'm all right. What's up? Sorry. And incidentally, it's worth noting that he is rather attractive, as far as build goes.
Yeah. This doesn't go entirely unnoticed, but Kirai did give
he's
it
not
a little longer, maybe, before Kirai.
like he's not like a super buff burly dude, but like he's very, very fit.
Yeah, she finds herself momentarily distracted, but then goes, yes. I seem to have forgotten what I was going to say. Right. The general did something alarming. He was able to remove us from our warframes.
That's distressing.
Yes. Therefore, if you are willing, I would like you to train me in fighting outside of a warframe. Turns out it may be a more practical skill than I had previously thought.
Sure, can do. What sort of approach are you looking for? The Madurai way, or something a little more generalized?
Perhaps something a little more generalized. I do not believe I am capable of fighting the same way you are. It relies too much on emotion.
Hmm?
Not to mention, I do not think I can wield the same kind of large sword, at least outside of a Warframe, as you are capable of.
You'd be surprised, actually, the amount of emotion that's involved.
Oh?
I come here and go to town on this to de-stress. It's not quite an emotional experience for me. This is almost like meditation. I'll meditate too, but that's a little easier for me to de-stress. Madurai is a lot more thoughtful than most people give her credit for.
I admit I do not know much about it. It was, frankly, the way I showed the least amount of affinity for.
It's all about the proper use of momentum. The battle starts off slow, but with slow, timed movements, and he's kind of like loosely demonstrating with his hands. You start with the slow time movements, and gradually you speed up. You're throwing harder, you're going faster, you're moving around a lot more, and you just keep up the weight, you keep up the strength, you keep up the momentum, and you come at them as it goes. You come at them like a crushing wave.
I see.
But it all starts with the basic forms. That's effectively and bleeds into more.
Of course, in theory, I know some forms from fighting inside a Warframe, but it is rather different moving your own body in such a way.
Aye.
And of course, the exact same moves will not work. I do not possess the same strength or agility. Even among Tenno, I fear I am rather physically underwhelming.
I'll stop you right there. None of us are physically underwhelming. It's just a matter of using your strength to your advantage. You're small. You're small. Smaller than most people that you'd be fighting, which means that you have a lot of advantage as far as their weight and their strength goes. So, someone comes at you and he goes like kind of like mocks throwing a punch at you, but then like stops and with the other hand just kind of like takes hold of your wrist, puts it against his forearm, and then just kind of goes like, with your frame, your physical body here, you can do something like this. You can take hold. You can take all the momentum that I'm coming at you with and just turn it over.
Interesting. I would have not expected that strategy from Madurai. Not only to build momentum, but then to turn the opponent's momentum against them.
Madurai, like I said, it's a misunderstood school. Lots of people, lots of Tenno think that we're all just purely berserkers, but it's thoughtful. It's mastery of momentum, not just of yours, but of your opponents.
I see. That is good to know. I think I have my hands full with berserkers enough as it is.
Smiles.
Well, you had a stressful day today, so I might not suggest we start today, but tomorrow.
Sure.
Sounds good. Just you and me, or the others interested?
If they are interested, that is fine, but I have not asked them. The others, well, admittedly, MT is untested. I know Yanto is more capable of holding his own. Actually, MT did prove herself as well against Kaite. I believe they are both more
Decked him
capable.
right in the face. It was beautiful.
Indeed. They are more capable than I already in out of Warframe combat. I will likely I will need to catch up a little. I am good at some defensive maneuvers, but I am not skilled at offense.
All right.
At least not as much as most.
Well, if you want, you can go ahead and you can ask them, see if they want to as well. If not, it's perfectly fine. I'll train you.
I will ask them later.
Sounds good.
I do not want to go in on them right now. For all I know, they may be having a moment.
Well, I'm telling you, Freddy Krueger would kick the absolute fuck out of Jason Voorhees.
I mean, they're both like ghosts.
Well, I mean, yes, but like machete versus handful of razor blades.
Sure, but the smaller one, Freddy, he's smaller.
Yeah, but he can go inside your dreams.
Sure, what does that do though?
Like you pulled that guy into a bed and he exploded into a blood fountain. That was awesome. Come on.
It was awesome. I'm not denying that. It was awesome, but at the same time too, Jason does he even dream?
Shit. Good question. Hang on a second, let me pull up the wiki.
Good thing that will never be answered in any movie ever, and these two will never get together and fight.
Cut back to the sparring room.
Them, a moment. Somehow I doubt it.
No? Perhaps I was mistaken. I thought perhaps they may be beginning to develop feelings for each other.
Come back to the bunk, they're fighting. I told you, for fuck's sake.
Look! Do you want to take this outside into space?
All right, fight me.
You first.
Oh goodness.
Oh my, there's so much yelling and rustling from there. It appears that things have progressed faster than I thought.
Oh, I don't want to know.
Just kind of wipes some sweat off his forehead and he'll go get a shower. Being a space teen monk is hard. Okay, so I'll say that some time's gonna pass. You know, you guys are fucking having a time here to just de-stress. And MT,
Yeah.
do you sleep that night?
Oh, jeez. If I can help it, no.
Okay. You can roll guts plus wind to not sleep.
Let's see how well this do. Let me actually pull up the Genopod. 2 4s?
Okay. You can choose not to sleep.
For what
Yeah.
it's worth, Kira is also up, though she is at the helm of the ship doing things like checking communications and messages and the like.
I'll sit next to her.
Not tired?
No.
I understand.
What are you doing?
I'm catching up on various small tasks. Checking for messages, monitoring nearby communications. It is, in the vastness of space, it is unlikely for another ship to chance upon you unless you are near a landmark of some kind.
Oh,
But-
there is a message, a piece of mail from the Lotus.
Hmm. As she moves that, she says, she finishes, but it never hurts to be careful.
It's a voice message. That's just that's sent to you. Saying, Yanto and Kirei, I thank you for your assistance on Lua. I have been guiding Raven as she conducts retaliatory efforts against the Grineer. Thankfully, it seems Counselor Vahek was never informed the secret of the Tenno. He was only given coordinates of spires to destroy, told only that it would cripple the Tenno. Thank you again for your assistance in the operation. Many Tenno have awoken today. Many Tenno have awoken in the past weeks. I apologize that I have been distant. I have been helping. I have been guiding the children as they awaken. If there's anything you need, please be in contact.
I find myself torn.
Yeah?
On one hand, the Lotus has been good to us, and it may benefit all our efforts if she knows of what we've learned. But on the other, she can also be a very practical person. I fear that if things escalate, if things escalate with the crisis with the rogues, she may take more violent methods in attempting to deal with them. I do not believe I can bring myself to kill another Tenno.
I wouldn't want you to.
Thank you.
You shouldn't have to make that choice either. If this Lotus really cares for you, she wouldn't ask you to do that.
So I wish to believe, but I suppose I want to, but I have been betrayed before.
You all have been telling me since day one that I can make my own choices. Why is that any different for you?
Because I find it difficult. I am very good at analyzing situations, outlining potential courses of action. But when it comes to making a decision regarding them about what is correct or what is right, I feel I have often made the wrong decision.
Are you still here?
I am.
Are you still working and doing what you think you should be doing?
Yes.
Then it was the right decision. Right or wrong, you made it, and you're living with it. It was your decision. Can't change the past.
You are correct. The same applies to you as well, too. Whatever you may have done in the past is in the past. It is your decisions from here on out that will shape who you are.
Thanks. Do you need to sleep? Can I sit here and look at the blinky screens?
Of course, before I go to bed, I can teach you about monitoring if you'd like.
Yeah.
I find it rather peaceful times like this.
Aren't there AI who are supposed to do this kind of stuff for you?
Not on our ship. There are precious few left. And
Not very futuristic.
I suppose creating a complex intelligence is an order more difficult than creating a new way to kill somebody.
Yeah, she'll begin going through the functions of the comms and what to look out for regarding what frequencies tend to have, the Grenier and Corpus tend to use, and what to look out for that may mean that there is a ship, even if nearing, even if they are not actively using comms.
Can I push this button? No, that will blow up the entire ship. So I can push this button. No. Get me some tape.
Please stop that. You are not Groot, please stop that.
I don't know what that means.
You're not tiny and cute enough.
Does anyone have any tape?
If there was any way to self-destruct the ship, and I kind of doubt there is. There are plenty of ways to completely destroy a ship that don't involve hitting a big red button. Kirei definitely locked it down the instant Titania came aboard.
She definitely already put tape over it.
She didn't put tape over it, she unscrewed and disconnected the button. And made sure there was no power to that sector of the console. Means we can't see the latest deals on the marketplace, but it's a small price to pay for our continued survival.
We're not blowing up the whole ship. Sure.
Yeah, then figuring that MT wants some time alone, Kirei will try and get some sleep herself.
Okay. Is there anything in particular you're going to do while you're keeping yourself awake, MT?
No, just not sleep.
All right. Sounds good. You do not rest.
I think eventually though she'd probably get kind of anxious and maybe a little tired and start to wander around and I don't know, go check on Excalibur, look at him, start thinking about life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's a as you're looking at Excalibur and thinking about life, it's like you can almost smell fresh air, and you feel a little relaxed.
Okay.
Do you think back about to anything that you remember before, like Rowan?
I mean, it's kind of unavoidable. I probably do. Try to make sense of it.
Dude, it just feels. You know that annoying feeling when there's just something on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, I'm sure this is the most annoying feeling because my whole entire life is on the tip of my tongue.
Yeah, like you feel as if there was something more that you could almost remember. And that maybe you would if you meditated or slept on it.
I don't know if I'm ready for that yet. She says to Excalibur and no one else in the room.
There is a strange sense of support.
I'm scared.
I want you to roll transference.
Oh, okay. Two 8s.
It's subtle, but when you look away or close your eyes and you look back, it's a subtle change in Excalibur. As if his posture has changed. As if he's standing more upright and with his chin held high and chest kind of puffed out a little bit. And again, you feel that subtle sense of support.
I'm gonna leave. Because now I'm just freaking myself out.
You don't feel warm with Excalibur's presence?
A little bit, but that in itself is weird.
Okay.
It's like, this is nice. Wait.
Okay. Yeah, you leave. Out in the main room, Trinity is currently cleaning up after Titania's messes, but like not in a way that's useful. It's like all the various stuff that Titania has misplaced or messed around with. It's like Trinity has identified what they are and picks them up and puts them into their own pile.
I'm gonna help her. That'll keep me up. That'll keep me preoccupied for a few hours.
Sounds
I'll
good.
help her do right.
She's like trying her best, but like she doesn't quite understand how organizing things work.
You know what? Between you and me, I'm sure we'll figure it out together.
She gives you a firm nod of approval. All right, and the night passes. Everyone except MT, who has been awake, wakes up.
I'm sure MT is just going to be groggy and useless for the day.
MT is especially groggy and useless today. This morning.
Yanta doesn't really notice because he is also groggy and useless.
MT has been
That's
mainlining coffee.
every day, though.
I'm sorry, what? I heard you talking shit?
I am surprised you heard me. It looks like you are still half dreaming.
Hmm. Well, I'm awake. I'm awake. Oh man. How'd you guys sleep?
I didn't.
Jessica looks at the coffee mug, looks back at MT. Okay. You want me to refresh that?
Yes, please.
With what, like some amphetamines or something?
Yes, please.
I was joking.
Yes, please.
Oh dear. Okay. I was gonna take the cup away.
How many cups have you had?
Just
think
the one. Over and over.
How many over and overs were there?
Shrug.
Yanta's gonna go to the Faber and check its output of coffee.
It's out.
How can it be out? It processes raw. You use the. Yanta's going to go into his bunk, get some socks out, feed them into the Faber, and reprocess them into scrambled egg.
Yeah, it breaks down the socks from at a atomic level and rebuilds them as a completely different thing.
Still tastes faintly of feet.
We are going to need to do another mission where we act as decoys, aren't we? To gather more materials.
Or we could go shopping.
Do we have the money for it?
No. So we get shot at instead.
How do we make money?
Oh, many ways. Many fun and interesting ways. Unfortunately, most of them do involve us almost nearly dying because, let's face it, our skill set is ever so slightly combative. And the only people willing to pay us to do jobs are either A, the Lotus, B, nondescript colonies who need a hand with something, or C, shady motherfuckers who will use Tenno to get any dirty job done. We try to avoid C whenever we can.
I once worked on a Gunir Valley and just doing heavy lifting. I paid shite for credits.
Then why did you do it?
I was bored. I was bored and aimless. I
We have
just
very
I just stabbed a man in the back when I was marooned on Earth.
So you did the logical thing.
Well, setting aside that we will probably need to do a somewhat profitable mission soon, I feel as though we should discuss what we've learned and what we want to do from here.
Mm.
To catch Colin up. Well, the general offered a few specifics. It does seem he is planning some kind of large-scale takeover. He intends to eradicate or otherwise displace the Grenier and the Corpus, and perhaps even the Infested, and create some kind of more permanent peace for the galaxy.
System. Anyhow.
System. Sorry.
You keep saying that.
Look, I'm a Star Wars guy, okay?
We just saw Guardians of the Galaxy like last week.
That's true, yeah.
Save the Galaxy is so ingrained in me, I can't get rid of it. All right.
Though, now that I think about it, were any specifics of a plan shared with you, Colin, in your time with the Rogues?
Not too much in particular. Aside from the pirate fleet.
So you did not see much outside of Kaite's group?
No.
I must admit now I'm a little curious what caused you to start working with them to begin with. I assumed you were given something of a pitch.
I was sent a message, personal message, after I said some choice things to the Lotus.
Oh, really now?
I was very, very, very unhappy with what she made us do to Sargus Rock.
So you were involved in that mission.
Seems I spend a lot of time stabbing people in the back. That was just the last straw for me. I got the message. I had a text-based correspondence, I suppose, with the Rogues. Eventually, I paired up with Kaite. Eventually, I got tired of that. And eventually, I stabbed him in the back.
What did they say?
It's a lot about questioning my thoughts on the system, on the Lotus. Questioning why I did the things I did. Relating it to a better purpose. Relating it to being free. Make your own choices.
Did you receive any
it was-
messages from the general himself?
No.
Interesting.
Organization-wise, it's very hush-hush.
It makes me curious. I would have expected someone like the general to attempt to get Yanto and I to come around to his way of thinking. But he did not really make an attempt.
Maybe he knew you wouldn't have. And it
Perhaps
wasn't going to waste his breath.
it is possible. There is another interesting thing to be gleaned from your story, though. The rogues must have spies in the Lotus's network. Or they would have not have known to contact you.
I figured as much. Someone working it from the inside. Picking and choosing. Picking and choosing to find the Tao most likely to join the cause.
The angry, the vulnerable.
Those with doubts. It would mean that any such tenor would be like you, ones that joined after waking up. From what if what the general said is to be believed, the rogues have, at least in part, existed from even before the fall of the Oracan. He claims that they rebelled before the rest of us did. He also claims that some Tenno, such as Raven, were sent after them.
On my memory, I was in a hospital, and there were explosions, and I was going to be killed by these people. I didn't know who they were, but I was saved by someone named Rowan, and he told me that Kaite and Ariane were there too, that they were helping me escape.
I see. That backs up the general's assessment, then.
I don't know where I was, or who Rowan is, who was going to kill me, or why I was there. I have a scar on my face.
Kirei will get in closer to MT and look at her face.
She doesn't move. She's just like looking at the table.
When you look
Round.
real close, you can kind of see it. It's surgical scars around the contours of her face.
I see. It appears you've had surgery of some variety.
She will. You know what? Kirei doesn't have a lot of problems with personal space. She will reach up and trace the line with her finger.
Oh, I was hoping you'd say she'd give her a little kiss. Mwah.
Well,
Maybe later.
Tracing the very faint lines. I mean, it looks like her face was changed. To just be completely blunt about it.
This does perhaps explain one of the mysteries surrounding you, though.
Why people don't recognize me?
Yes.
Because I don't look like whoever I used to be.
Indeed. It means it means that were you aboard the Zeramon 10-0, we wouldn't know you.
Are there any Tenno that are missing? MIA?
Plenty.
Eh.
Most are presumed killed. We live dangerous lives.
Do you know that Rowan guy's last name?
Gershoy?
And if you look over, Colin is sitting at the codex,
Already
typing away.
Kira will think and see if she remembers anybody by that name.
I looked him up already.
It'd be
You and
tougher without a face, but
You and Yanto can both roll. Remember?
sure. Let's throw in the relationship with MT.
I will do likewise.
2 2s.
2 8s.
All right. Yeah, you guys do remember Rowan Gershoy. One of you a little more vividly than the other. He was a Tenno who had what you remember most about him because he was very quiet on the Zariman 10-0. He was very shy. Remember that much. He was definitely very, very shy, very bashful. Not quite willing to make the risk of trying to interact with the other kids. And one of the other things that you remember about him is that the void scars that many of you have, and some of the awful things that happened to you in the Zariman 10-0, his were around his throat and destroyed his vocal cords and kind of rendered him barely able just to speak. You see as Colin pulls up the name.
This has been searched before.
This has been searched before. Yeah, and he is a a boy about your age, with messy dark brown hair, and notable scars all around his neck and kind of a little bit up his up his right cheek.
And if I remember right, his current status is listed as deceased, right?
Yes, he died before the fall, supposedly. He died during the fall, rather.
Okay, and does the codex differentiate between Tenno who have simply gone missing during a mission and and are presumed dead versus? Okay, so it does differentiate versus presumed dead, or from presumed dead versus confirmed dead.
There's one person you could search to tell if you want to go down that memory lane.
Of
someone you know is dead, but was killed on mission. So you could, if you want, you could go down memory lane and check that out.
I ask because I assume Kirei and Yanto already know this. They would probably know if there is a different status.
Yeah, there's a different status. There's missing in action, and then there is confirmed kill KIA.
Okay, so
I see. He was killed during the fall. Though Not to give false hope, though. That report could be suspect. If he was already a rogue before the fall, it is entirely possible that records could have been falsified. The way the general spoke, it seemed there was a concerted effort to prevent knowledge of the rogues' rebellion from reaching the ears of the rest of the Tenno.
I mean, doesn't that list Kaite and Ariane as asleep still?
Indeed,
They are very much not that.
we were lied to about that as well, though. I was, until yesterday, under the impression that they had been asleep largely through the time we served the Orokin, that they had been sick. But if the general is to be believed, that was a lie. They were made into their own special unit. And the rest of the Tenno were not told.
Whatever happened to them probably happened around the same time. I'm trying to put a timeline together of events. Whenever I was taken out of that hospital, that might have been when whatever happened to them happened.
You mean what made them like they are now?
She nods.
It is possible. But unless you have memories of meeting them before, we cannot confirm.
Nothing.
Also, at the very least, while Ariane seems mentally unstable, Kaite's issues seemed more emotional. He was of sound mind, if of not of sound feeling, if that makes sense.
Aye, it does.
However, we don't really have enough information to piece together much about the rogues or their history yet.
Well, what do we do now then?
Well, the first thing I would ask us to make a decision on is this. Do we report what we have learned to the Lotus? On one hand, if the rogues are planning something grand, it would be good to get as many eyes and ears as possible working against them. On the other hand, Colin's story confirms that there is a spy in the Lotus's network. Any information that we pass along that will in turn, we will tip off the rogues that we know. Similarly, there is also, while I do believe it is very unlikely, it is not completely impossible that if worse would come to worse, the Lotus would order at least some of the rogues killed, if they posed a great threat to the system.
Ugh.
There are no good decisions here. Everything's got somewhere coming back and biting us.
Another thing to consider is that even if contacting the Lotus doesn't tip the rogues off, even if contacting the Lotus rather only tips the rogues off to things that they already know, they will know that likely all of them that we know about them, for better or worse, that may paint a target on us.
If they care so much about saving this system, then coming after us is pointless to them.
Mm.
And the
At
ones who would probably not have the system's best interests at heart.
That is true.
You'd be encountering people like Arion.
Though it is worth considering that only holds true until we present a legitimate threat to their operation. They'll likely, if it reaches that point, they will know to come after us anyway, regardless of the spy system.
I suppose a question to ask would be, endgame wise, are the rogues going to go after the Lotus? Just to the final strike?
I guess we're not going to know what they're planning. Not now, anyway.
Why do I feel like I've just got a big bucket of eels and I'm trying to work out where their head and tails are?
If I may weigh in, then I believe we should hold our tongues for now.
Agreed.
All other considerations aside, the one thing we can be certain of is that speaking with the Lotus about this will increase the amount of conflicts between the Tenno loyal to her and the Tenno loyal to the General across the system. And I wish to avoid that kind of escalation.
Yeah, no argument here.
Colin nods.
Unless we believe we could convince her to leave this in just our hands for now. Excuse me. Kyrie's voice is a bit tough on the throat sometimes. It's very low. It's very low in my register. Unless we believe that we could convince her to leave it in our hands for now. It may be best that we don't inform her, at least until we are more certain of the situation.
No. Until we have to, there's no sense in bringing anyone else into this.
All right. On to what we do from here. There is a lead we have. I do not think it is coincidence that thus far that two of the items on Nefanyo's list led us into conflict with the rogues. There's a good chance that pursuing other leads that we acquired through that may do the same. It is possible he himself has been investigating them.
You think the rogues are hunting down the same assets?
Perhaps.
It makes sense if they're planning something, if they're looking to start launching strikes and destabilizing the Grenier and the Corpus. Of course you're going to want any kind of gear you can lay your hands on.
I have a hypothesis, though only circumstantial evidence to support it.
Go for it.
The Corpus and the Grenier have both oddly, suddenly found a way to acquire and control Warframes. That was our initial concerns in our mission before encountering the rogues. And pursuing leads related to that has led us to the rogues. I think it is possible that the general has supplied them with these warframes.
But wait, but if he's... Why give your enemies weapons that could...
Have you noticed about the positioning of these warframes?
Oh, you crafty bastard.
They are each by targets of importance. Yes. If my hunch is correct, then that is part of the general's plan to allow the Grineer and the Corpus to believe they can rely upon the warframes and then have them turn on them all at once. Killing one high-ranking Grineer or Corpus will only cause small shocks to the system, but killing all or almost all of the high-ranking ones simultaneously, it would cause the collapse of both governments.
Kira, I want you to roll courage as something comes to mind.
Ooh, I'm ready to fail this roll. Yeah, 8 high.
I'll say that Yanto can as well. Actually,
Gonna have to put more than 2 points in that eventually.
I'm gonna say that Yanto can also roll courage as something comes to mind.
Sorry, excuse me, I was finding a cushion. Guts plus courage, you say?
Mm-hmm.
And relationship with Space Mom, because 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 5s.
Kirei, take a shock to hands. Yancho, don't take a shock to anything, but you guys remember the drums. You guys remember what it was like to destroy the Orokin Empire.
And the chaos that came from that.
And just what it entailed.
Mm.
All the Orokin emperors in one place. The most important people in the empire. Trusting the Tenno.
And then they all died.
They're attempting to do the same thing. If they can earn the trust of the Grineer and the Corpus, convince them that they stand against us, or against the Lotus and her Tenno, then they can do the same thing we did before. To kill all the officers at once. Destabilize the whole system. So,
I thought I'd never hear those ever again. And here we go. Someone else thinking that the same old fucking horrors will work again.
the General is convinced that this time his faction can survive the ensuing chaos without being forced into hiding. That he can build his own empire from the ashes.
It's always got to be off the ashes, hasn't it? Fuck.
I don't understand. I was not thinking of the future back then.
None of us were.
I merely wanted revenge, but
now we have the benefit of hindsight. We are in a beautifully unique position to see what is about to happen and have the ability to do something about it.
is because he was not part of it himself. He claimed that the rogues were not involved with the fall.
Then he's blind as well as stupid. You didn't have to take part in that to see that it was a stupid thing to do.
Perhaps, but with enough distance. Maybe it looks like we didn't, that the problem was not with our action, but with our execution. That we simply did not perform well enough.
If that guy's fault with us is that we didn't kill enough people, he can go and fuck himself.
Hey, speaking of killing people,
Yeah?
Yanto,
Yo.
there's like time zone differences here.
Mm-hmm.
So like for a lot of people, this would be broadcasting like, in the evening, but for you right now, you just woke up a couple hours ago. A show that I'm sure you've watched on several occasions is airing today or soon.
Breakfast with Anya.
No, Rathum.
I have no idea.
Rathum is a Grenier wrestling / blood sports hosted by Kella Thame.
Oh man.
Yeah.
It's blood sports with all of the
With all the kayfabe.
with all of the camp and all the gusto of professional wrestling.
Tenno have participated before.
Tenno have participated before, yes.
For whatever reason, Kella Thame is completely okay with Tenno being like, hey, I would also like to fight in your blood sport for money and glory. Please let me do this.
This week's episode will be airing here pretty soon. Just reminded because you said I'm all killing people.
Excuse me, I'm just gonna watch my TV programs about murder. No, wait. Somehow I feel that would undermine my point.
I mean, hey, it's fair to see to like tune in and be like, hey, is anyone I know competing this week? Because we may literally know people competing occasionally.
No, this is fair.
Like, are any of our acquaintances risking their lives for money and glory this week is a fair reason to turn on this program.
There's also a thing that you do know from the list. There is a rogue Warframe that has appeared on numerous occasions in the program.
Well, it'll be up to Yanto to bring that up because obviously Kirei is not familiar with when this program airs. She does not religiously view it.
Of course, correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm wrong, Luke. It just seemed like the kind of show that Yanto would watch.
I mean, he watches it, but he watches it like UFC, like he's flinching the entire time. Like, oh man, that looked like it hurt.
Oh, his head just went flying. Oh no.
Oh no. Yeah, Yanto's gonna just take his coffee and breakfast and wander off into his bunk to watch his programs.
I suppose we will adjourn this meeting for now then.
As Yanto wanders off without saying a word.
It's like, I can explain to you where I'm about to go, but you'd think I was a massive fucking hypocrite.
Oh, also, did you watch last week's episode?
I mean, I didn't see the episode live, but I caught the recap episode.
Kelly Fame did promise high drama this episode.
Oh man, there's been another one of those gimmick matches. Like infested in a cell, or tables, ladders, and cravats.
Oh
Better not be
goodness.
hide the Sandscape again, otherwise I'm really not going to be interested.
But yeah, if you guys happen to go into your bunks at all, you'll see him watching this, or you might even hear it from afar. The broadcast starts. Keladathame stands in front of the screen wearing a toothy grin and a regal-looking cape. Keladathame is a female Grineer who is incredibly tall due to augmented robotic arms and legs. Has kind of wide yellow eyes, a mohawk, and always has a sadistic grin. She announces, "Hello, my favorite degenerates, and welcome to this week's Rathoom. I am your host, the Keladathame, and I am so excited for today's events." She reaches out, grabs the camera, pulling it closer to her. "I can hardly contain myself." The camera flicks to static as she crumples it in her hands.
Love that NATO is clearly yelling.
She crumples the camera in her hands, and then a new one comes online just kind of behind her.
Yanto's kind of idly tapping out on 10 on the equivalent of 10 Twitter, like, that's one camera she's got through already.
Twitter.
The camera then pans to show a circular arena filled with spiked traps and laser wires. "As you lovely ingrates no doubt remember, I promised you high drama this week, and I intend to deliver." A burly Grineer in purple armor, wearing no mask and smoking a cigar, rises up from the middle platform. "Executioner Vorta is a man in love." And there's like an ooh and ah throughout the crowd.
Yanto just kind of face palms. Really?
The camera focuses on his face. He remains scowling, cigar clenched between his metal teeth, but his cheeks are flushed.
Oh, what is this? Like, Yanto was like, oh, outwardly shouting, "What is this cockamamie bullshit? My God."
Colin at this point has joined you with his breakfast.
Yanto makes his face.
Puree turns to MT and is like,
He claims to enjoy the show, though you would not know it by listening to him.
He enjoys complaining about it. That's half the fun.
Is it?
I mean, the boom mic's in shot, for fuck's sake. Just fire that intern.
Do we have more coffee?
Yes, though you will need rest sooner or later.
No. That's fine.
"But what good's an executioner, Rathoom, with those weak, flimsy feelings?" Then Vorta looks a little dejected. "But, my lovelies, I am a merciful host. So I gave him a choice. Take your chance in the arena. 2 doors. In one, the lady of his dreams. And the other, the tiger!"
God damn it.
Yanto just looks over at Colin with the most confused expression on his face. This is fucking surreal, even for this show.
The crowd goes fucking wild.
I mean, how hot's the tiger?
That laugh is in character too.
Sooner or later, you will sleep, whether you like it or not.
Is that a challenge?
It sounds like a threat.
I can handle both.
It is. advice from experience.
Two doors open on opposite. Two doors on opposite sides of the arena light up. Well, Executioner Vorta, will it be your lady or will it be the tiger? Vorta hesitates. He looks between the doors, draws long on a cigar, and with metal legs approaches the southern door. He looks it up and down with a sneer, places the side of his head to it, listens for a long moment. Does the same to the northern door. The audience is quiet on the edges of their collective seats.
Twitter is fucking exploding. Hashtag hot tiger.
Not so much Tenor Twitter, but space Twitter. There's not enough Tedo to functionally keep a Twitter active.
There's two versions for Corpus and Grenier.
Like
Grenier. No. There's the Grenier version, which is Grumbler.
I like to think that without either of them noticing, Kirei has gotten behind them and is watching now as well, and surprises them when she says,
I will be very surprised if this is not rigged.
You think?
Yanda just choked on some coffee.
Finally, Vorta approaches the southern door again, and confidently he mashes the button to the left of it. The door opens slowly, plumes of smoke billowing from it.
MT is watching now too.
The camera zooms in on what stands within, a feminine figure in a hooded cloak. The screen pans to Vorta, his eyes wide, cheeks flushed. The figure draws back the hood, and the cigar falls from Vorta's mouth. And then what is clearly a female Warframe stands before him. What a few of you others know as Saren. Her form is shapely, wide hips, a large accentuated bust, and a curvy helmet with a small horn jutting up from the area of the forehead.
Yanta goes very red.
I am confused. Is this the love or the tiger?
What is that?
Both.
She parts the cloak to reveal crescent moon-shaped sickles on her hips, and takes them in each hand.
Oh no, mate, run. No, seriously, run.
Vorta fumbles for something. A rose, which he gives to her in both hands.
Yanta's just gonna close his eyes. Tell me when it's over.
Is this sweet? I can't tell.
Saren draws the sickles in a flash, faster than can be processed, severing both of Vorta's hands.
It is about to. Oh, it's already over.
In a similar motion, she takes the rose in one hand before it falls. She presses it to her faceplate as if smelling it. Looks at it strangely, curiously, in motions that you've seen from Trinity, notably, before setting it on her forehead horn. She flicks her wrist to Vorta, upon whom grows massive pink spores. They burst, leaving behind a pinkish cloud. And he collapses, dead, with a stupid, love-struck smile on his face.
Yanta peeks between his fingers. Is it? Oh yeah. Ah.
Oh, and it looks like the lady was the death of him. Maybe he'd have been better off with the tiger. Now stay tuned for our sponsors.
What just happened?
That was Saren.
Who?
It is a Warframe that specializes in poison and toxin, maybe a more correct term. Spreading it among enemies. Do not worry, it is capable of differentiating friend from foe.
But wait, it's not being controlled by anybody?
That is my suspicion. It made moves that very similar to the kind Trinity has made when examining something new. While admittedly we Tenno are very varied in our worldly experience, I do believe most of us are familiar with what a rose is. Also, that was a very silly thing for Itano to agree to.
Huh.
Right.
I suppose this must be the rogue Warframe that has appeared in the Rithum that was mentioned in the list.
So these, I suppose, kind of the theme's fairly important. Odd that they try and put a Warframe so close to someone not within Grineer High Command, though.
She has her own devoted following. I imagine the thought is that if the rest of the Grineer were to collapse, she would probably consolidate power with her own forces.
That's a fair point. Well, I suppose if we're going to be trying to, well, prevent the systematic annihilation of the entire Corpus and Grineer power structure, starting with the ones people may not suspect is probably a good idea.
Wait, what are you guys talking about?
We're about to go and steal a very busty Warframe that poisons people.
I don't think we ever explained.
That's what I was worried you were talking about.
Yeah, just gives a dumb grin and gives him a thumbs up.
We're going to run out of room on this ship.
If we... Oh no, we did explain. Yes, I explained my thought that the rogues are sending Warframes.
Yeah, no, I understood. I got it. It just,
And we are kind of short on cash.
Hmm.
I mean,
Also, for what it is worth, while fighting in the Rethum is very dangerous, usually the only emotional drama that is involved is of the manufactured variety.
I don't know. That guy looks pretty dead to me.
He died happy.
I mean,
But he had a shit-eating, love-struck grin on his face.
let
They will,
me explain this to you. The guys who go into here, 90% of them know the risk back to front. The other 10% were probably drunk.
Okay.
also, this is the Grineer we are referring to. They will almost certainly spit out a new clone of him.
This is also true.
It occurs to me that they have found a way to make a TV show where they can regularly kill off the cast and bring them back next episode without breaking suspension of disbelief.
It's genius.
Could you try that again, a little bit more deadpan?
All of the emotional, depth of a fucking small pond. I don't know.
Look, all right, I don't criticize you for the things you enjoy. Just allow me to enjoy my stupid melodramatic blood sport.
No, you can enjoy the blood sport. That's not what I'm talking about. We're gonna run out of room on the ship.
I mean, there is storage for the Warframes. You do realize that. We just kind of have a couple who willingly wander around the ship.
I feel like that's someone's cue.
Trinity is already there, like rubbing Kirei's head or something.
Yeah, imagine we have to just go look around for a second.
Did we lose the GM?
We have lost the GM, but also
Is BRB'd.
well, this is an excellent question. Who saw Titania last?
Yeah.
That laugh didn't help.
I thought you were watching her.
I suppose we should make a habit of feeding all of the things that Titania and Trinity create back into the fabricator so it does not run out so frequently.
On the one hand, yes. On the other hand, you haven't sent Titania sulk. Part of me dies when I see her sulk.
Well, then we'll just have to distract her while we do it.
As long as no one else wants to, as long as no one else has an issue with getting incredibly hot chili for the next 3 weeks, irrespective of what you try to make in the Faba.
I am fond of spicy things.
Yeah, all right. Just the next time you try to make a Furus and it turns out and it spits out 3 pounds of spicy chili con carne, don't come crying to me.
Against unarmored foes, that may prove quite effective.
Look, I'm pretty certain I've heard of a Greenwich spaceship being taken out by a gigantic glob of frozen gazpacho. I don't think we're going to start weaponizing food. I'm pretty certain we're already a running joke amongst most Tenno. We shouldn't really try and compound that even further.
Oh, don't worry. Most Tenno have some, from what I understand from monitoring the feeds, most Tenno have some kind of joke or reputation that is not entirely something to be proud of. For example, apparently Tsukimono has quite a number of female fans among the Tenno.
How is that embarrassing gossip? What, you're bad at this.
Well, because they often seem to be fighting amongst each other in his presence, if the reports are to be believed.
Yeah, I'm just going to look over to MT, then back over to Kiri. It's not strictly embarrassing.
What I don't understand is why they don't all just get together. That seems like the simplest solution.
You know what? You're right.
Excuse me. I'm just going to finish this. Yes, that's the perfectly logical thing to do.
Indeed.
Awkward silence.
We are without God.
Kira is
have
not
things to
awkward at
censure.
all because she genuinely believes that she has said something entirely correct.
She is profound.
Yes.
She is the Confucius of boning.
Right down to most of her wisdom being theoretical rather than practiced.
Oh dear.
I mean, Yanto can be pretty certain that Kira has not hooked up with anybody in a very, very long time. At the very least. He probably would have noticed.
I mean, we share a bunk room. Unless, oh no. I mean, you can go invisible, but you're not silent.
God damn it.
On a related note, this is unrelated, but are you aware that the training room is soundproof?
Oh my God.
Turns up the advertisements. Oh, hey, look at that! Hey, look at that! Raspberry flavored protein shake. That's really cool.
Really want to try some of that.
Yeah.
Also,
Why
you are a very deep sleeper.
Oh, it comes in butterscotch flavor as well. Oh my God, that's so just. Kerry, are you doing this on purpose?
Of course not. I would never.
Just deadpan face.
In fact, I do not know what you are referring to at all.
And that voice cracking is probably even slightly in character.
I don't know what's going to kill me first. The stress, the enemy, or my goddamn libido. Oh. Would you stop laughing like that?
Colin pats you on the shoulder and just says, let's hope it's not the last one. That would be the worst.
It's difficult to get the lid on the coffin.
Oh,
Jettison you out into space like I'm about to do right now.
I think with this lovely conversation, I'm going to call it into the session.
Oh dear.
Unless you want to end it with me actually finally going to sleep and you give me that flashback you've been trying to give me.
If you actually go to sleep, I'll give you that flashback I've been trying to give you. But if you don't actually go to sleep, then no, I'm not going to.
Well, I don't want you to forget it, so.
I have it written down.
I don't know, guys. What do you think?
Up to you. We can either start the next session with it because Kirei is going to insist that you get some sleep before competing in a violent death game. Also, Kirei says to herself, if only my fellow shipmates were not such prudes.
I think
Well,
we're just not prepared.
I'm out on that one. Holds up both hands and leaves.
First of us and an Irishman running from a skirmish.
I'm not cut out for this one.
Do not forget, Colin, we have a private training lesson slotted for later.
Oh.
Oh really?
Ah.
Eyebrow waggle.
Mm.
Yes, he is going to train me in hand-to-hand combat.
Mm.
You're right there, MT.
Ah.
I think she did. I think she's now operating off pure caffeine. I think we need to put her to bed.
No.
It is very likely that we are going to be in close physical contact and sweating a lot.
Oh. Really? You're not going to back me up on this one?
Yeah, actually, Kirei looks at Yando and just thinking the exact same thing. Like, draw the line there.
Yeah.
A lot of the sands.
Falls in your court, Yanto. What now?
Yato doesn't know what to do anymore. Yeah, just go, all right, fuck it. You know what? If it was up to me, I'd have all three of you. Could you just cut it now? I can't take any more of this.
Oh. Well, that's good to know. Perhaps we are not so different after all.
Colin walks back into to Yante saying that, and then Kiri's response, and then it's just like, I thought you were done! By the void! Can you people calm it down for just a bleeding second?
Hey, I think you signed up for this, if I remember correctly.
I apologize. I'm beginning to believe that this may be a response of mine to post-stress or something akin to that.
I mean, I knew I was signing on for to hang out with people my own age, but this depth of hormones,
More like horror moans.
that. I'm gonna go prepare to train somebody.
Welcome to the life of being eternally a teenager.
It sucks. It sucks and I hate it. Why can't I be 20 years older?
Oh,
No, why stop at 20? I already act like a 40-year-old man.
I mean, it's a big universe, endless time and space. Why stop at 40?
We'll just go 200.
Sounds good. Good even round number.
How old are we? My memory is often very fuzzy, so I don't actually know.
Shrug.
Colin
Well,
also shrugs.
Yes, I did not expect you to have an answer to that.
You know what?
I remember one of the times trying to celebrate a birthday and they very nearly burnt one half of the station down. Way too many candles.
Do you think we've hit triple digits?
Chronologically, maybe.
I mean,
Well-
not
What
counting
other-
the time we were asleep.
Other way is there to
We would be very, very, very old if we counted all of the years we were asleep.
Well, yes, I know.
Speaking of sleep, do we have any more coffee?
God fucking look.
MT, I am going to insist that you get some rest before we go on a death game TV show.
I'm fine. I'm fine. It's just a joke. Look, I'm full of boundless energy and strength.
Yanto just push MT
Yeah,
over.
say like simultaneously, Kirei does the exact same thing. Like they both just reach and nudge her.
She kind of like slips a little bit, but is like, "Come on, no, I'm fine. I'm fine."
Also, that rare case of perfect synchronization between Yanto and Kirei. Look, they've been partners for a while.
In combat, we are beautifully synchronized, but we also know how to make someone go for sleepy times.
All right, if I promise to take like a little nap, would you stop?
Harassing you,
That's the word.
propositioning everyone in the ship.
I don't expect that to stop ever.
Good, I
I
can
know.
make no such promises in that regard.
I wish you could.
Why are you still here?
I keep coming back at the wrong times.
I apologize, but finding time to myself is much more difficult now that we have more than doubled the occupancy of the ship.
You think the Warframes would mind?
I am not sure I want them to find out. That may be opening up a can of worms even I am not prepared to deal with.
Hmm.
That can may have already been opened. Anyway,
I am suddenly concerned.
So am I.
All right.
May I ask which one? I would like to know which one I should be on the lookout for being handsy.
Are you going to all stay in the bunk, or should I go take a nap somewhere else? I don't know. Where's the other good place to take a nap?
just go. I'm gonna go. Go check my weapons and do technical shit.
The armory. That sounds like a good place to take a nap.
No,
Would you like- Either of you, by the way, the part of what I said earlier is a joke. Either of you are welcome to join us for training if you wish.
Can I do that instead of nap?
If you nap later. Conversely, if we spar, I can simply knock you out.
I'll take a nap now.
All right,
Are you going to train with them?
well, if you guys are gonna kick the shit out of each other, I might as well join in.
You find that the training is a lot less of kicking the shit out of each other.
Kirei needs to go over a lot of basics for fighting on her own. She is not really at the actually sparring yet, in spite of what she said to MT.
And even beyond that, it seems that Colin wouldn't even be doing that anyway.
No, he's not going to eventually spar with us.
Eventually, yeah, but not so soon.
Well, yeah, he would definitely kick our asses quite readily at the moment.
But in the coming hours that you guys do train for a bit, you know how Colin seems like a bit of a dunce sometimes.
Yeah.
You get where all of his knowledge is, what all of his knowledge is, as you begin training with him. He is an expert on the forms, on the postures, on the movements, and you notice, you definitely can get out of him, like can notice that there is an incredible serenity when he does go through them. with you guys. And I'll actually say that you both can do a remember check.
Sure.
Remember or outthink, whichever you want to do. They'll both give similar results.
Are they flavored differently at all?
Yeah, flavored differently. But
All right, they're the same dice for me, but I feel it's more important or more appropriate for Kirei to roll outthink.
okay.
Okay. So that was 4 10s on 6 dice.
Nice.
Holy shit.
So whatever
And-
she remembers very well.
And Yonto?
2 9s.
2 9s. Did you do remember or outthink?
Outthink as
Or
well.
whatever she
I'll think.
outthinks, rather.
Both of you. So Colin hasn't really talked a lot about his past or the things that he did before the fall or before the collapse.
Mhm.
Only mentioning as much that there was a human girl that he was sweet on right before the collapse. And the fluidity of his movements, the serenity that he maintains. Hold on, someone's knocking very loudly on the door.
Oh, wow. Yeah, I heard that too. Huh.
Yeah, I heard it slightly.
Let's see who it is.
As a side note, Amanda, did you like the song I linked before the
did.
internet went out? Hooray! I'm glad.
Hooray.
Okay, back. It was Kevin. So what sort of clicks for you is that there were certain Tenno that embodied this sort of mythic warrior sort of ideal. A lot of you were just shit kids behind metal frames. But there are some of you that were actually monks or monk-like. And those are the kind of people that had that depth of serenity and poise and confidence. And you get a lot of that feeling from Colin.
I would just appreciate watching Colin, just the genuine skill and composure.
And, following through with him and kind of taking in some of the brief lectures that he provides and education on the basic forms that he's running you through here. You do learn a lot. And ultimately, after a few hours, he's just like, he looks up and it's like, I think that's probably a good time to stop. Probably I'll ask you guys to practice what I showed you for the next few days, and then we'll pick up there.
Certainly. I must say, I am quite impressed. I do not believe I have had a teacher that good, that accomplished since Master Teshin.
Far cry from Tessin. But thanks.
Not as far as you think. You have a comparable poise about you.
You think so?
This isn't... I can tell this fighting style isn't just something that you know It is something you live. You, I think more than any of us, embody the way of life of your chosen path. Not simply the combat aspects. That's reflected in how you move.
He smiles a little. Thanks. I like to think that I do too. At least that I try. And he gives you guys kind of a sheepish nod and will depart to go get a shower.
Worth noting, Kirei is probably training with a kunai, but using it as a melee weapon.
Yeah, that's fair.
She is.
It's the worst thing to get pistol whipped with.
Cool.
Even something like a Skana is probably a bit too large for her to handle gracefully.
And I think I'm going to cut to MT now. MT.
Yeah, God.
Eventually, you sleep.
Against my own better judgment, yeah.
Yeah, like against everything that every muscle in your body, or every muscle in your mind, specifically telling you not to. And when you do sleep, you do recall something. It's you, Rowan, and another boy. Someone you know as Argos. He's a boy about your age, with dark skin, shaggy dark hair, and void scars across the left side of his face. You know him as being calm and collected above all else. You're in a field of barley. The air is sweet and pure. A spaceport is not far behind you. You'd successfully smuggled yourselves onto a freighter and escaped from Orokin captivity. Shortly after you managed to get out of the transference chambers. It's the first time you've breathed real air, touched real grass, in what must have been decades. Escape was your plan, of course. Something you covertly formed with Argos and Rowan when you were within your Warframes, out in the field, doing the Orokin's work. How do you react to your first moment of smelling pure air and touching real grass in the first time in decades?
Oh, I'm going to flop down right into that bad boy.
Yeah, Rowan kind of drops to his knees and laughs a very gravelly laugh. And Argos kind of runs his hand over the barley and smiles brightly. We did it. We're free. Rowan just says about as happy as his voice can manage.
I'll smile.
Argus kind of smiles down at you guys and then looks up to the sky.
Oh, I'm tripping that motherfucker.
he yelps and then stumbles and then collapses, just laughing after he collects himself on the ground. He has a very deep, sort of a melodic voice. I didn't see that one coming. Oh,
No dramatic moments.
oh,
Not here.
not now.
Not ever again.
Promise.
Promise.
And you guys and Rowan and Argus smile. And yeah, I'll say that's your memory. And that's what I'm going to end the session on.
Yay.
Well, what'd you guys think?
It was a fun little session, full of a little bit of drama and a little bit of comedy.
Oh, this is so bittersweet. What did I do? Wait, was I me in the dream as I know me?
You were you in your dream, as you knew.
Okay. All right.
The-
The face that I know.
Yep, I believe
You didn't. You weren't able to see your face, but
Well, because I was, yeah.
yeah, because you're inhabiting your eyeballs, so you couldn't really see your face.
I was indeed inhabiting my eyeballs.
Well, Amanda, it sounds like one of our guesses was right.
What?
It sounds like you were or were at least one of the founders of the Rogues.
Shit. God damn it.
In fact, they specifically said it was your plan, wasn't it?
Well, I'm just, there goes Luke.
Oh no! I hope his internet didn't crash. I'll have to look and see if the UK still exists here.
Yeah. Was the bomb dropped on the...
Yeah, Trump has nuked the UK. Just in. Claims UK called him fat.
All right. Well, I guess if Luke has dropped, I'll give him experience in a private message. So one experience, everybody.
Yay!
This section is Rathum Part 1.
You almost got to the plot.
Yeah,
No.
it's okay. You guys needed a cooldown. And nothing helps a cooldown like the beginning of an episode of Rathum. Okay, I'm gonna end this recording then.
Okay.